Alright, also look. Ooh, welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over my predictions for UFC champions by the end of 2025. And you know, with the year of 2024 now coming to a close and 2025 taking form and now starting anew, I wanted to take some time to list, talk about, as well as break down my list of fighters that I see as potential champions by the end of 2025. So with that being said, without further ado, let's get right in to the video. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share so you can help me reach 1,500 subscribers by May. I'll deeply appreciate you. And make sure you join the official UFC Discord, link in the description. Alright, so look, starting from the bottom to the top, we're kicking it all off with the Flyweight division, where I've got Alexandre Pantoja keeping his championship title by the end of 2025. And look, I really do genuinely believe that as long as Pantoja's chin is able to hold up for another year, he should be able to retain his belt for the remainder of 2025. And look, may I remind you all that this man has quite literally cleared out the entirety of the Flyweight division, whether it be Kopp, Urseg, Moreno, Royval, you name him, he's beaten them. And as for Kai Kara-France, who seems to be next, I think that he genuinely could pose a real threat to Alexandre Pantoja, with the takedown defense along with the nuclear KO ability. But I think that Alexandre Pantoja's toughness as well as his dominance in the ground department should be enough in order to get the job done against Kai Kara-France. And once he gets that done, I think that it's smooth sailing from then on out. Next up, for the Bantamweight division, and for the champion that I see holding the belt by the end of 2025, I'm gonna have to go with Merab the Machine Dvalishvili retaining his championship title. And look, I know a lot of people are picking Umar Nurmagomedov to get the job done against Merab come January 18th, but man, do I think it's the other way around. I really do think that Merab Dvalishvili is a lot better than a lot of people are giving him credit for. I mean, the man quite literally has the greatest triple threat of gas tank, pace, as well as volume in all of UFC history, and it isn't even close. Not Colby, not Nate, not even Max can contest. And once he gets it done against Umar and takes that O in January, I can see the UFC booking the rematches between either Merab v Sugar or Merab v Jan, or honestly just both really. And look, I don't really see the outcome changing one bit either. And once Ilia El Matador inevitably moves up to 155, I can see Merab Dvalishvili taking the chance at champ status come 2025 to 2026. Who knows? And speaking of Ilia El Matador, for my pick for featherweight champion by the end of 2025. And you guessed it, I've got the one and only Ilia El Matador Topuria retaining his title by the end of 2025. And guys, this one kind of really goes without saying really, but GOAT status is just beyond reach for Ilia Topuria, and I realistically do see his dominance continuing for many years to come. And look, while he has voiced his future dreams on moving to 155, he's also in the same breath stated that he is not vacating the 145-pound strap under any circumstances. So what I think he's realistically gonna do, or what the UFC are probably gonna make him do, is fight Alexander Volkanovski for the rematch. I mean, the man deserves it. He's the 145-pound GOAT, 11 consecutive wins, 6 straight title defenses, as well as the former pound-for-pound #1 champion. If anyone deserves a shot at redemption, it's Alexander Volkanovski. Unfortunately though, I believe the outcome still remains the same, and afterward, I believe that the UFC will make Ilia El Matador fight Diego Lopez next. I mean, he deserves it as well, and depending on how Ilia El Matador finishes Diego Lopez, I believe that the UFC will gift Ilia Topuria the lightweight title shot against a contender like Dustin the Diamond, or Charles Oliveira Charles do Bronx, or they just feed Islam Makhachev to him straight up, which would most likely be the best possible outcome because knowing how the UFC operates, there is just no way they would risk the opportunity for an international super fight between Ilia El Matador Topuria versus Islam Makhachev. Now, for my lightweight champion by the end of 2025, I've got Islam Makhachev, and that was honestly a no-brainer also. And look, while I do have him beating Arman Tsarukyan in their upcoming fight on the 18th of January, an Arman Tsarukyan win isn't 100% out of the question. Not at all. It's just that I don't necessarily like his odds. You see, Islam Makhachev is just so balanced and so well-rounded, man, and that's straight up the reason why he's the pound-for-pound #1 champion right now, honestly. And, you know, once he dispatches of Arman Tsarukyan in January, I can see the UFC booking a Charles Oliveira Charles do Bronx rematch, where I think after that fight he had against Michael Chandler, Islam Makhachev probably takes this pretty convincingly this time around as well. And look, taking into consideration that Islam Makhachev isn't necessarily your most active champion, I do see him only having about 2 very spaced out fights in the year of 2025 as well. So by the beginning of 2026, we can maybe see him go up for a shot at that welterweight strap. Who knows? Speaking about the welterweight strap, for my fighter, I see as our end of 2025 170-pound champion, I've got to go with my boy Jack Della Maddalena. Now, let me break down how I see the entire year of 2025 going for JDM. Firstly, I heard some rumors about a fight being booked between him and Leon Edwards in March by a very reputable and credible news source. So now, moving forward upon the belief that those rumors are true, I've got him whooping Leon Scott's ass in March, Belal and Shitrat fighting in sometime Q1 or 1.5 of 2025, Belal Muhammad absolutely schooling Shitrat and coming out on top in their fight. Later on in mid-Q3 to early Q4 of 2025, we see the Belal versus JDM fight get booked. Then they duke it out and Jack Della Maddalena comes out on top by 3rd round KO against Belal. Remember the eyeball going into 2026. I'm telling you, mark my words, this is all going to happen in this exact order. And if it does, come back to this exact video in a year's time. And now for my end of 2025 middleweight champion. And I've got the one and only Khamzat Chimaev. And this too was a very simple no-brainer. And look, no matter who comes out on top in the Sean Strickland versus Dricus du Plessis fight in February, they still both get mercilessly spanked by the Boers. And look, like I've said in some of my previous videos mentioning my namesake, Khamzat Chimaev is quite literally a generational talent whose career was honestly just hindered by tragic and spontaneous injuries as well as unexplained weight misses. Now that he's gotten all of that figured out and he's healthier than ever before, the middleweight division are just lambs to a slaughter for the wolf, whether that be Strickland, Dricus, Izzy, Bobby, or Caio Borralho. You name it, they all don't stand a chance against Khamzat Chimaev, and once he acquires that 185-pound strap, it won't be long until we see him move up and eliminate the entire 205 division as well. And now for my light heavyweight champion by the end of 2025. And I've got the face of the UFC himself, Alex Poatan Pereira, retaining his 205 light heavyweight title. And look, I think that 2025 will most likely be the twilight of his prime, honestly. And he's realistically got about one more good year left in him before we really start to see the Pereira decline. I mean, the man is 37 years of age, and come July 7th of 2025, he will be 38. And as the saying goes, no matter how good you are or how invincible you feel, Father Time waits for nobody, and he is undefeated. And look, I honestly only see Time being this man's kryptonite, and not anyone within the light heavyweight division. And yes, I mean anyone. Even you, Ankalaev. And yes, for a little bit, I did believe in the Magomed Ankalaev hype and thought that if anyone within the light heavyweight division were to beat Alex Buatan, it would be Magomed Ankalaev. But after going back and doing some film study on Ankalaev, I came to the realization that he's just gonna be another Chama victim once he eats that left hook of doom. Because there's no actual way that Magomed Ankalaev was struggling with the calf kicks of Alexander Rakic, who, mind you, was coming off of a year-long injury as well as the KO defeat against Yuri Prohaska. What's he gonna do against the best calf kicker in game who just so happens to have fight-ending nuclear KO ability, and now a ground game? Yeah, the only way I see Alex Buatan losing in 2025 is if he either gets caught by a Leon Scott-esque Hail Mary fluke, or he crumbles to time and gets skunked by an up-and-coming prospect, or he just goes up to heavyweight and fights either Tom Aspinall or Johnny Turinabol. If he doesn't do that, then he most likely keeps his chip by the end of 2025. And now, last but certainly least, for the heavyweight division. And guys, I think we all know it's gonna be Tom Aspinall. I mean, really little needs to be said about this one, honestly. And, Dana White has said on numerous occasions that the Tom v. Jones fight is next no matter what. And once it happens, I honestly see Tom Aspinall giving Johnny Turinabol that Ngannou Stipe special and flatlining him stiff, folding him like a lawn chair for all the world to see. But let's say that doesn't happen. Let's get real right now. Jon Jones is not staying until the end of 2025. Either he fights Tom Aspinall and inevitably loses, or he retires and makes Tom Aspinall automatically move up to the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. But that about sums up my end of 2025 UFC champion predictions. And as it goes, I've got 5 out of 8 current champions retaining their belts and staying the same, and only see 3 new ones come 2025 going in to 2026. But that's all I've got to say for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and tell me what champions you have staying the same or what new ones you see come the end of 2025 going into 2026. Let me know in the comment section below. But that about wraps up the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!